Hey everyone, it's Diaperperv and it's JayBDL again, co-anchoring this awesome talk show, podcast, whatever this is.
Okay, yeah.
And today's topic is how to find a good pro diaper fantasy facilitator. And yes, I do have my list of my personal recommendations. And if you don't have that yet, just hit me up on, FetLife, Twitter, or Reddit to get that, or email.
Hmm.
But I understand my list is very subjective,
Yeah.
right? Like, I'm sure there's favoritism, and that's why this list isn't public. But it's based on a set of criteria that I think is very, very high. Um, but that's like not the only pro diaper fantasy facilitators out there. There's a lot.
Yeah. And well, like we were talking about before we hit record, it's also how in this sphere, when you're looking for somebody, like a brand new person shows up, how do you vet them? How do you make sure they're who they say they are?
Hmm.
Because the specter of fake mommies and fake doms is huge. No one wants to get taken advantage of.
Yeah,
No
no.
one wants to be like, oh, I'll send you that $50 Amazon gift card and get a personal phone call and then that never comes or whatever.
I know so many people that have been taken advantage of. Like
Yeah,
almost every, not
yeah,
almost everyone, but a very high percentage of people that I saw in person
yeah,
have been ripped off.
yeah. I think one of the big things is because it's playing on people's emotions is you
Hmm.
have to be um, almost emotionless to go through and find somebody and
Yeah.
make arrangements. Like it can't be based on, well, just maybe. Maybe if I'm really nice to them, maybe if I do this, it has to be negotiated, open. It has to be concrete. There has to be a foundation.
Okay, so don't go into it emotionally, going,
Yeah,
oh, this could be the one.
yeah. Like, oh, well, we've been DMing on Reddit for weeks now, and she said that she'll give me a phone call if I just send her this much money and blah blah blah. It's like, no, don't. Like you don't know who this person is yet.
Right,
It needs to be again a foundation. I will send you this. I expect this in return,
right.
or some way of vetting things in a way that is safe for both people.
Okay, so let's talk about that. You brought up, someone is new on Reddit. It's mommy 1212.
Yeah.
I'm a new mommy from in Dallas, Fort Worth,
Mhm.
and
Yeah, it's like, so how do you see this post? We'll go at it from both sides. How do you see this and decide, yeah, this person's legit? You know?
um, I would see if they have other social media first.
Yeah, that's
and
a good
and just
start.
ask them publicly, like, hey, what are your other socials, or do you have a site?
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's huge. And then also just being very aware when you're looking at socials, are the pictures really of them? Are they just generic photos? Like
Yeah,
stock images that could have been taken from anywhere?
yeah, or other people's nurseries.
Exactly, because that's going to be a huge red flag there if they're not. If they're this pro mommy that has a fully stocked nursery and yada yada yada, then why aren't you sharing that? Why aren't you showing that?
But then how will people know if it's like someone else's pictures or not, if they're not following like 2,000 people?
No, and that's it. I mean, a lot of times, a lot of the creators I've seen will watermark their things,
Mm.
which is good. And if they don't, well, it's hard to tell still.
Yeah, and it's
But
easy to crop it out too.
yeah, but I think it's like, look at the work you do. Like, you feature yourself in a lot of your promotional material.
Yeah.
So people know, oh yeah, this is you. This is really you.
Right.
You know, if that person that you're talking with never makes an appearance, it's always a picture of a crib, a picture of a diaper, a picture of a pacifier.
Right.
That's that's a little worrying.
Right.
You know, I'm not saying this person has to go out there and show off their body and this and that and the other thing, but at least show some consistency that you are there, you are present, you are a human.
Right. At least show like your mouth smiling or something.
Even that,
Or
it
even,
feels like I'm not sure. It's I get that if you want your business to be discreet, you may not be sharing a lot of that.
uh-huh.
But just bear in mind, as somebody who is offering these services, the more you're hiding, the more me personally, I'm going to be suspicious. and less likely to interact. Now, other people will still probably interact with you, but this topic is more about how
Right.
do you find the ones that you can trust to book a session with and have an
Yes.
experience.
Okay. Do you think having a site is important?
There's a number of different channels out there where you don't have to build your own website.
Yeah, like
You
Wix.
Yeah, or making your own content,
Mm-hmm.
or even not even that, like going on like okay, you have a YouTube channel, but as we discussed, having a channel on like X videos and putting free video content there,
Mm-hmm.
just something that you can link back to and say, here I am, here I'm talking about something, here's
Right.
me engaging with the world,
Mm-hmm.
is really really good.
Okay. So my topic is how to find a good pro diaper fantasy facilitator, meaning someone who knows about diapers, who knows how to listen and interpret your fantasies so they can have a good interaction with you. Like my recommended facilitators, I only include the ones where they're like proven, like this is their actual fetish
Yeah,
because I see them posting about it.
yeah, and that's I think a very good resource there
Yeah.
is saying like, oh no, these people genuinely do enjoy it. I think it's okay. Somebody can offer that as a service,
Mm-hmm.
as long as they deliver.
They deliver.
Yeah, they don't
Yes.
have to personally like it.
No.
So let's start from that place of they've listed it.
Yeah.
I expect a service, whether they are totally into it or they just do it for money.
But they have to be good at the service.
That's where we're going. Yeah,
And that's when the listening part comes.
yeah. So I think if you're approaching a dom, like one, understand they are very sensitive as well of people trying to solicit free interactions from them.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So if you're like, well, tell me what you would do during a scene.
Right.
They're like, yeah, I'm not writing your fat material for you.
Yeah.
That's just not going to happen.
Yeah.
I think the best ways to vet them is to see what area or community they're in or involved with, what groups they're involved with.
Okay.
Um,
And how do you go about doing that?
so most people who are offering services as a pro are probably part of a broader BDSM community wherever
Mm-hmm.
they are.
Yeah.
Not everyone, but a good chunk of them are because that's how they find more clients.
Yeah.
That's how they build skills. That's how they build
Yeah.
reputation. And in this business, reputation is everything.
Yes.
Um, the harder it is to find their reputation, the more I'd be cautious
Yeah.
because that means either they're very new
Yeah.
or they have continually changed who they are so that people can't track them.
Oh,
And in
I
the
never
in
thought
that
about that.
and in the community, that's generally seen as a red flag. You don't
Yeah.
just walk right into somebody and expect them to be exactly who they say they are. There's a feeling out process.
Right.
So the feeling out process should be, hey, can you tell me about like maybe some groups you're a part of or places you've been, just so I can, do a little vetting,
Yeah.
and be prepared to also offer that in return.
Yeah.
Because they want to know who they're engaging with as
Mhm.
well.
Yeah.
And this is more geared towards in person versus on the phone.
Yeah.
On the phone might be like, hey, okay, we'll do 5 minutes just to feel each other out.
Yeah.
And then if that works, we can book a longer session.
Yeah. So just like the pros vet the clients, it's okay to vet the pros too.
Oh, absolutely.
Like to do your research, like do a search on their name, see how active they are in FetLife, see if they're teaching classes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
There should be something out there to say this is who this person is.
Mhm.
Not all of them, mind you.
Mhm.
And that's again where it comes down to like, well, how can I vet you? Who can I talk to? Just to see like if this is going to be a good match.
Yeah.
And again, if somebody is being very private, I don't disclose, I don't talk to anybody,
Yeah.
yada yada, it's like, okay, well, thank you for your time. Because that's now you're taking a risk that this is somebody who doesn't want you to know who they are.
Mhm.
And then you might be walking into a scam.
Right. So what exactly is a scam?
Scam is going to be somebody who asks for payment in advance for a service and then never delivers.
Never delivers?
Intentionally, yeah.
Intentionally never delivers. So what about if they deliver very poorly?
So that is not necessarily a scam.
Mm-hmm.
They, we'll take the example of somebody who says they do diaper scenes,
Yeah.
diaper facility, and they just do a shitty job at it.
Like a really bad job. Like they don't know how to put it on. It's on lopsided and backwards.
Yeah.
And they're charging like $300.
Exactly. And those people absolutely do exist. You know,
Yes.
this isn't a steak at a restaurant you can just send back. This isn't something you're going to argue and say this was horrible. I want my money
Yeah.
back.
Yeah.
This person in this space delivered a service. So you may not have liked that service. You have every right to be upset about that service.
Mm-hmm.
But if they delivered, that's that. The best thing you can do at that point is share your experience.
So how do you try to mitigate that risk to get someone who can deliver?
That's all about the vetting process right there. Who have you done this with? Or is there somebody that, some reference or group or something I can see where you've interacted and done this before?
Okay.
You know, um, you know, and I think most dominants, if they were being asked that, pro doms anyway, would probably be open to finding a way to earning your trust because that means they now earn a paycheck.
Right.
They're,
And yeah,
if
and
you are showing diligence, they
mm-hmm.
want to get you there. And the ones who don't feel like they need to do that for you are probably not the ones you want to be associated with anyway.
Right, because you want a top that wants to learn.
Yeah.
Because a top doesn't know every single thing that's
No.
out there or how to do it properly. They should want to learn. And
Yeah.
if they're honest and say, hey, I don't have a lot of experience, but I do want to learn, and I would like some education. Let me
Yeah.
get educated on this. Let me go to a class on it.
Yeah. And that's the big thing there. It's like that's going to be a person you want to keep working with and
Yes.
you're happy to give money to. That's the best person of all, you know?
So what about if they find a person that they like and they think they can click with, but they have to like kind of teach them how to do stuff.
And that's fair. Again, they're still providing a service. Even though
Yeah.
you might be like giving them some guidance and direction, they're still the one who you're hiring.
Yeah.
And it's just like having, we'll say, a painter in your house or an interior decorator, and you're teaching them what your style is and what you want.
Yeah.
They're still the ones doing the work.
Yeah, they are. And they're not a mind reader. So I think it's important that you communicate to them clearly what you want out of the interaction.
And it's going to be a learning process for you both because if this is your first time with a professional, you may not know how to have that clear communication.
Yes, and I made a whole YouTube video about that,
Yeah.
about how to communicate your fantasies and what my process was to extract your, ABDL fantasies out. So I think you should watch that video and write the things down.
Yeah.
So that way you could just present it and be like, here.
Yeah, and if you're working with a dominant or a pro who is new to this world, send them that same video.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know, I feel like a lot, again, dominants, if they're professionals, they want to learn
Yeah.
and they're allowed to set their own boundaries. I'm sorry, I don't deal with diapers. It's not my thing. Cool, move on.
Yeah.
Don't be mad at them.
Yeah.
Think of it as any other professional in exchange.
Right.
Yeah. So when Pro Mommy 1212 shows up on Reddit and says she has a fully stocked nursery in the Dallas Fort Worth area and she's welcoming all the babies and yada yada yada, you don't want to just immediately go, "Oh, this person gets it. They know."
Yeah.
You want to reach out and say like, "Hey, that's really cool. I'm in that area. I'd love to learn more about you. Is there do you have like a FET or groups that you've led or classes you've taught just so I can like get some background and see if we're a good match?" You know?
Or ask, do you go to the ABDL events? Do you go to munches?
Yeah. And just try. I mean, the events and the munches are weird. I've heard from professionals they avoid those now because people will seek them out there for free experiences.
Really?
Yes.
I've never seen that.
But it's
really.
more, it's like they'll be there and then somebody will just be like, "Oh, you're mommy 1212. Again, won't you tell me about like, you like diapers?" And, it can be something where they're now in a space where they're trying to socialize and somebody's trying to turn it into something else.
I think another suggestion is to write out your fantasy,
Oh, yeah.
your perfect fantasy, just a quick synopsis, and send it to them
Yeah.
to see if they can do it. And if they can't, that probably isn't the right match for you.
Yeah.
Like if you want like an empathetic, loving, sweet, caring experience, and they're like, ew, no.
They're like, "No, I want to punish you."
Yeah, no. Yeah. Don't go into it thinking, oh, maybe they'll change. I would just say no.
Oh, never go into a relationship thinking you're going to change that person. That's the worst thing to do. Yeah. And then if you're that new person, if you're mommy 1212 and you're brand new at this and you want to make this an income stream, then yeah, you're gonna have to put yourself out there in a way that
Mm-hmm.
people can trust you.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So what if you do all these things, right? And the person says, "Yes, I can give you this experience how you crafted it," and they don't do it, and it's a horrible experience. It's like a bait and switch. How do you think the client should like tackle it?
Again, going back, they provided a service. It was a shitty service. It's just like getting a shitty steak.
Mm,
You know, if you want to try and get your money back, God bless you, but it's not happening.
no,
Don't
but
don't even. I would chalk it up as, well, that sucked, and then I would make sure to share my experience with others.
how? Where? Because
Go on.
they don't want the blowback.
Well, no, that's where you go on Reddit. You go on FetLife. Maybe you approach them first. That would be the starting point. Like a day later, hey, that did not meet my expectations at all, and here's
Mm-hmm.
how it did not meet my expectations.
That's a good, yeah,
You
I
know,
like that.
don't come at them like, I want my money back. That
No,
stops the conversation immediately.
exactly.
Again, if they're a good person, they want the feedback, and they
Mm-hmm.
may even offer something like, let's
Yes.
try it again, or I'm so sorry, let me refund you some of the money.
Yeah.
Don't expect that,
Yeah.
but set it up for success. Go in with positive intent. Let the other person prove negative intent, and then go from there.
I think a lot of people that pay for services, they're scared that the person is going to out them.
Yeah. And it's a risk for all involved.
Yeah.
So that's one thing where if you're like, oh man, this person might out me because they know my name and
Yeah.
my phone number and my credit card,
Yeah.
definitely take steps to protect yourself. You can always do that.
How? But you have to be preemptive of that
Yeah.
and do that even like as you're considering them,
Yeah.
even before you hire them.
Yeah. And that, I mean, I feel like is another part, just protecting your identity in these spaces. That's like a whole thing.
Yeah.
But, it's going to be like, okay, well, never give them your name, use a fake name, set up a Google Voice number or something like that, or get a cheap disposable SIM if you have to. Um, if you're going to pay them, you can do it in cash.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing wrong with cash.
Mm-hmm.
Um, find neutral sites to meet at initially where no one knows either of you.
Hmm.
Do things like that.
Hmm. Okay. It's yeah. It's tough for me to give advice because I've heard so many personal stories
Oh, yeah.
of people getting a bait and switch and
Oh, yeah.
having a horrible experience. And to me, getting that bait and switch horrible experience is akin to getting ripped off.
Yeah. And that's where it comes back to, if you have that experience, you need to share it. But then again, that the person that mommy 1212 shows up 2 months later is mommy 2121.
Oh, yeah. And that
And
happens.
the cycle continues. There's only so much you can do. There's always going to be predators and shitty people. I hate to say it. Don't give up on finding good people, but share your experience of why it was a shitty experience, what you did, how maybe there were signs that you missed, etc., so that other people don't fall into it. It's not a guarantee. We're never going to stop it.
Yeah. And people do get better. Like,
Yeah.
even when I started, I was nobody. Like, who the F am I? The only thing I had to back myself up was that I started I Need a Mommy
Mm-hmm.
and adultbabygirl.com. Like, that's it.
Yeah.
But me as a person, I had nothing else to back me up other than those two things.
Yeah.
I was on Craigslist.
But you see, that's something where you are established. You
Yeah.
have a business. It's like having a physical storefront. People are
Right.
going to take you way more seriously than selling shit out of your house.
Yeah. Okay. I hope there's like real advice in this episode.
I mean, the cautious, I think, is, or the takeaway for me is, it is a risk, no matter what you do, no matter
Yeah.
how safe you try and play it,
Yeah.
and to be open to a learning experience on both sides,
Hmm.
and to do your diligence in vetting somebody you do not know and has no history.
Oh, ask if they do like phone or video sessions first, and that's one way to vet them for a much lower
Yeah.
cost.
I mean, at the very least, you should ask is like, can we do a phone screen?
Yeah.
Just to see if we're a match. And that shouldn't be more than like 5 to 10 minutes of just,
Yes.
hi, how are you? I'm good, blah, blah, blah. And then just like a really quick rundown of like, oh, so you offer this? Yes, I do. my rates are this. Okay, what would the meet look like? And it should be very business.
I love that. And I've done that for people too
Yeah.
when they're not sure and they just want to, go over the scenarios by phone or whatever.
Yeah.
And a lot of times they're like older clients
Yeah.
too.
And that's
And
where
I'm
again,
happy to do that, yeah.
and that's where again it comes in. You need to take emotion out of the
Yeah.
equation when you're doing this.
Number one. Yes.
Yeah, because if you are starting to get emotional, thinking this is this, oh my God, it's happening. Oh, good God, you're gonna overlook every single red flag.
Right.
You're not gonna. You're just gonna be blinded by emotion.
Yeah.
And anticipation, and that's how these people prey on others.
Stay safe out there, everyone. And if you're looking for a pro, I hope you find, people that match with you. And it's okay to try out different people too, because everyone has a different style.
Yeah. And if you have a bad experience, like it happens, unfortunate, but it's true. Try and approach the follow up with positive intent.
Mm-hmm.
And ultimately, if it doesn't work out, it didn't work out.
Awesome.
Sucks. But
Yeah.
it's true.
Yep. All right. Well,
Cool.
we're going to sign off now.
Yeah.
Okay.
See you later, everybody.
Bye.